morning to you and welcome back to Fox and Friends First. Tit for tat with China over tariffs. The market making a major comeback, proving Wall Street wasn't rattled by China's $50 billion retaliation to American tariffs.
President Trump firing back on the trade war rumors. In a tweet here now is the chair of the program in business and finance at the King's College in New York City, Brian Brenberg. Brian, we just had you on a couple days ago.
Are you getting tired of joining us?
Talking about tariffs, it's a big story.
Well, yeah, it is a big story, and we initially had this plan from China for $3 billion in tariffs, and you said they didn't punch back too hard. This wasn't really the big thing, and then now it looks like the plan is to hit us with about $50 billion, and still we saw the market tank initially early yesterday morning, then it recovered. Why didn't the market bite on this big threat from China?
I still don't think the market thinks that we're going to have a trade war here. China comes out with this $50 billion plan for tariffs, but the key is they don't give any timeline. They have no timeline for implementation. So what they're saying is we're watching what the U.S. is doing. We're going to see what the U.S. is doing. If the U.S. puts these tariffs into effect, then China will respond. But remember, the U.S. has given itself several months to put these into place as well. So it looks more like a negotiation than a trade war right now.
So should everyday folks be worried about this?
We should monitor it. I think the key is that a deal gets done before the U.S. tariffs go into effect. If the U.S. tariffs go into effect and China responds, now you're going to start to see some real pain for farmers, for automakers, for aircraft makers, for a lot of people across this country. So there is a threat there. But at the same time, what the president is signaling pretty clearly is I want to get a deal done. I'm putting big terms out there right away, and I'm going to use that as negotiating leverage with the Chinese. But he has been very clear, and his administration has been very clear. We want to get a deal done because we want this thing to work out for both sides.
Well, if you're just a person that's living in the United States, and if it is enacted, this plan, let's take a look at some of the impact that you could see, and it could actually benefit you depending on what you buy. If you buy American products that are now more expensive in China, those will probably get cheaper, right, here in this country.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's going to probably create some pain for U.S. companies because China is a huge consumer market. I mean, let's be clear here. People want to sell in China. There are a lot of customers there, and so if you're producing products, agricultural products, soybean, sorghum, pork, beef, and you're trying to sell those things in China, this is going to hit you. What's interesting here is China is going after big Trump states. They're going after Midwestern states, South Dakota, Iowa, Oklahoma. They're trying to inflict real political pain because the one advantage the Chinese have is the U.S. has midterm elections this year, and they know they can play to that. Again, this is why it's going to take all the president's negotiating skill to get this done, but I think he feels confident that they can get to a place where this can work out in fairly short order, and he can take a win back with him to his constituents.
Before we let you go, what's your message to the folks at home who are watching?
Keep watching. You know, there's some risk here, but this is a negotiation. We're not in a trade war yet. There is a lot of room for a deal. Don't discount that. The headlines are always going to talk about trade wars, but truly this is a negotiation, and I think we can reach a deal. And the stock market, I think, believes that as well, which is why it bounced back so much yesterday.
Wild day, another one.
They should make a roller coaster at Six Flags called the 2018 stock market.
I don't think anybody
the line would be a mile long.
I don't think anybody needs that kind of stress, Rob. We've got enough in reality.
Brian, thank you so much.